to hit #1 on New York Times bestseller list, like that's it, that's the dream. And for it to happen to me, the black girl from the hood in Mississippi, I couldn't believe it. I'm Angie Thomas, and I'm the author of The Hate U Give. The Hate U Give is about 16-year-old Star who lives in two different worlds, the mostly black poor neighborhood where she lives and the mostly white upper-class private school that she attends. And the struggle of being two different people in two different worlds becomes even harder after she is the sole witness of her childhood best friend Khalil being killed by a cop. I first wrote it as a short story when I was in college after the shooting death of Oscar Grant in Oakland, California. He was killed by a cop. And I was like Star at the time. I was living in two different worlds and I had to be two different people. I lived in, for lack of better words, the hood, and I went to a mostly white private school in conservative Mississippi. So I heard two very different conversations about Oscar. At home, he was one of us, but at school, he may have deserved it. And in my own anger and frustration, the only thing I knew how to do was write. Then Trayvon Martin happened. Then Tamir Rice happened. Then Michael Brown happened. And I felt the same anger and frustration and hurt, and I returned to the story and decided to turn it into a novel. I remember with Oscar Grant in particular, after his death, more people were bringing up his past and what was done to him. When I wrote the character of Khalil, I wanted to write a young man who was in a situation that may not have been ideal and he may not have made the best decisions, but I wanted to raise the question, does that take the value away from his life? Tupac is a big influence on me as a writer. Thug Life in particular was a big influence on this book. He said that it stood for the hate you give little infants fucks everybody. And I hope I'm okay with cursing. And he explained that as saying that what society feeds into youth has a way of affecting us all. And we see that through systemic racism. We see the hate that's been given into youth and into society affecting us all. So when I was writing the book, it felt like Thug Life defined everything that I was trying to do. Writing is a form of activism. Art is a form of activism. And it helps more than we may realize it does. I've been telling stories for as long as I can remember, but I didn't know that I could be a writer because I never met writers who looked like me. It wasn't until college I said, okay, I think I actually want to pursue this. I'm working on my second book at the moment. It's about a 16-year-old girl who is a rapper in the same neighborhood that Star lives in. And that's all I can really say about it at the moment.